Hey everybody, it's Jack and welcome back to another video. I have an awesome video planned for you all today. It's actually going to be a part 2 of a video I featured last week on the channel. So if you haven't already seen that video, I highly recommend going and checking out before watching this one. To quickly recap, I went over the company, the industry, and really what their product and business is at its core and the opportunity there is in the industry, as it is a disruptive company that focuses on the actual alternative solution to the natural cigarette, a nicotine and tobacco-free option to try and help people to quit smoking. So yes, it is the company TAAT Global Alternatives that I'll be featuring today in the video, part number 2. In today's video, I'm actually going to focus by diving a little deeper into the management team, looking at some of their past experiences that show that they're a good leadership team moving forward with TAAT. I'm also going to focus on the financial statements of the company and look at their financials. We'll dive into the balance sheet and the income statement, see how their revenue and profits have been doing over the past few months or over the past year in total. And then I'll focus on the actual stock chart. We'll look at how it's been trading as a stock over the past few months and really just get a picture of the trends and patterns that we can see. So it's going to be a jam-packed video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And to quickly recap and to note, this is a sponsored video on behalf of TAAT. So I do want to come out and say that. And by no means am I a financial advisor or should this be taken as financial advice. I always recommend you do your own due diligence and research in any stock. But with that being said, let's dive into the video and I hope you enjoy. So just quickly, before we dive in and look at the management team, let me just quickly recap you all on the ticker symbol. So TAAT Global Alternatives trades under the ticker symbol TAAT on the Canadian Securities Exchange, the CSE, and it currently trades at $4.40 at the time of filming this video. As you can see, it's currently on a little bit of a dip, down almost 6% on the day, and it currently has a market cap of just north of $400 million. So this is a small cap company. And if you're in the United States, TAAT Global Alternatives trades under the ticker symbol TOBAF on the OTC, TOBAF, and it's currently trading at $3.47 American, and it's down almost 7% on the day. So quite a significant dip on the US market and Canadian market, with a little bit more of a dip on the US. We'll come back to the stock price and the charts later on in the video, but first let's focus on the management team. So now taking a look at the management team, let's start it off at the top with the CEO, Seti Coscarella. I might not be pronouncing that right, but I did my best. So Seti brings vast amounts of knowledge to the actual company in a variety of disciplines, as he has past experiences in investment banking, private equity, and entrepreneurship. He moved to the world of tobacco at Philip Morris, one of the largest companies in the actual space, has a huge market share of the actual tobacco industry, where he is actually a lead strategist on their reduced risk or alternative products. So while at Philip Morris International, Seti actually focused on talking to thousands of smokers and actually talking to them about what kind of alternatives they would like. And this really allows him to bring a huge well of knowledge to TAAT in the actual cigarette alternative space. He has so much knowledge in the space after talking to so many people and helping lead the team at one of the largest companies in the actual sector. And now in terms of the Chief Revenue Officer, CRO, and Tim Corkum, Tim also has a big career in the tobacco space. He also worked with Seti at Philip Morris International, where he led their international commercialization initiatives for combustible cigarettes and new products, again in that reduced risk and product or alternative category. He was there for over 20 years at Philip Morris. So again, somebody who brings a well of knowledge in the space and in the business development sector, sales, strategy, and corporate affairs. So he really complements Seti, the CEO's skill set by bringing a diverse range of skills. And then a third member of the management team that I want to talk about is Joe Deegan, who was actually one of the founders of TAAT and now is the head of R&D. So he was one of the founders of the company, and then they brought on the CRO, Tim, and the CEO, Seti. But Joe himself actually has a great experience and past in the space. He founded a vape liquid maker called J-Juice in 2012, which gained distribution in all US states and in 26 other countries, which really helps bring that global effort to TAAT and really has somebody who has that experience at a global scale, scaling a company up for international reach. And I really think these three members that I've talked about, Joe, Tim, and Seti, really together have a very complementary skill set. Like I mentioned, they all cover different areas, but all really key pillars in TAAT's business, the actual product, the sales and strategy, and then the global effort for the actual international reach. So all three of those combined, I really think set TAAT up really well to actually scale and get that global reach that they're looking for and really disrupt the space. So we've just showed how the management team is a group of really qualified individuals who have really great, vast experiences in some of the big name players in the tobacco industry. So they're really a group that has the experience to help move TAAT in the right direction moving forward, in my opinion. So with that being said, let's now dive into the actual balance sheet and income statement of the company and look at the financials. So now taking a peek at the actual financial statements of TAAT and kicking it off with the balance sheet. So first, to keep in mind, these are a little bit outdated. As you see, they're from April 30th, 2021. So these are from last quarter, as the current quarter's financial statements haven't yet been released. So keep that in mind, because TAAT has been scaling like crazy over the past few months with multiple $100,000 plus or even $1 million plus deals, which makes me really excited for their newest financial statements to be released so that we can check it out. So definitely keep that in mind. I think these numbers are going to be a little bit higher in their next financial statements in terms of revenue and income, as they have done some pretty big deals over the past few months. But like I said, we're looking at the balance sheet. So as we can see, the first number that really sticks out to me is their current assets and the cash position specifically. They are sitting on over $14 million worth of cash. So they have a massive cash position that they're sitting on in order to leverage and help them grow the business moving forward. And if we actually check their total current assets, it's sitting just under $18 million. And as always, I like to compare the ratio of current assets to current liabilities to see in the short term the financial state of the company. So if we do go and look at the current liabilities for the company, they're sitting at only $1.3 million. So we're looking at a ratio of over 13, which I think is the largest of any company I've featured here on the channel to date. This is actually crazy. They have over 13 times the amount of current assets as they do current liabilities. So they are actually at a superb financial state. So if anything were to happen to the company in the short term, they're in an amazing position to be able to weather any storm that comes their way. So a really healthy balance sheet, which is great to see for TAAT. So now we can focus on the second financial statement, the income statement, which shows the actual income and revenue of TAAT over the last quarter and actually over the last year in general. So first, what really sticks out to me is that sales number, that revenue number. As you can see, it's just under $700,000 for the 3-month period ending in April 30th, 2021. And if you compare that to the previous year, it's actually night and day. In the exact same quarter in 2020, their revenue was only $9,000 and it's now $700,000. So you can see that this growth is astronomical in the past year. They've been scaling the business like crazy, and all the work they're putting in to really start to get that global reach and expand into multiple countries across the globe is really paying off. And taking a look at the gross profit, it's also night and day from the previous year. It's sitting at over $350,000, and the previous year was at just over $3,000. So an actual over 100x in gross profit, which is just wild in a 12-month period. And we actually compare the sales or the revenue to the actual gross profit. You can see that the gross profit is actually over 50%. So TAAT has excellent profit margins in terms of an actual business. They're very profitable in that sense, which is also just another positive factor moving forward as they continue to scale. So the revenue has been growing really well, but if we actually look at the income for the actual quarter, there is a net loss of over $11 million. And the majority of this is actually, if we look at the expenses, it's because of share-based payments. So if I were to kind of guess, I would say this is either warrants that were outstanding and were offered out by the company, or this could be payment to their actual management team and executives in the form of shares being paid out, because this figure is almost $7 million. So it makes up the majority of those expenses. So it's definitely something to watch moving forward, because even though the revenue grew like crazy, that's quite a substantial amount of net loss, over $11 million. Remember, they are sitting on a huge cash position, so they could weather the storm in the short term, but you would want to see this net income actually start to gain more traction and hopefully become a profitable company moving forward. And another key thing to point out on this income statement to be aware of is if we actually look at the very bottom, the weighted average number of common shares outstanding. So how many shares there are in the actual circulation. You can see that in 2012, it was just under 40 million shares that were out there circulating, and it's now over 90 million shares. So in the past 12 months alone, the company has actually given out, or there's been an additional 50 million shares given out. So they've over doubled the amount of shares outstanding. So as an investor, if you're holding TAAT, that could mean that you're going to be diluted and your shares will become less valuable over time. So as I just showed, the revenue growth is pretty spectacular over the past few months in terms of TAAT's revenue and their bottom line growing. They have extremely healthy profit margins of almost 50%, and they've been growing like crazy over the past little while, with new deals coming out every single week worth $500,000, $1 million here and there. So it's pretty crazy, and they does seem to be expanding extremely fast, not only here in North America, but also in Europe, and as we've seen in the past week, in Australia. So all in all, TAAT is really becoming a global company. As it says in their name, TAAT Global Alternatives, they truly are starting to embrace it. So they're really truly becoming globally recognized. So with that being said, let's now dive into the final part of this video and look at the stock chart and how the stock has been trading over the past little while. So as I mentioned earlier, they're currently on a little bit of a dip, dropping almost 6% today alone. And if we look over the past month, we can see that there actually were a high of around $5 per share, and we're now sitting at $4.40. So over just the past few days alone, the stock has begun to sell off and the stock is on quite a substantial dip, over 10% in the past week alone. But for the actual month, we can see that at the beginning of the month, beginning of August, TAAT was trading at $3.70 in that 60 to 70 cent range. So quite a bit of growth over the past month in the big picture. Even though they're down over 10% in the past week, they're still up almost 50% in the past month alone. And looking at the 1 year chart, we can actually see that TAAT has been growing really, really well over the past year, very consistently. It does kind of shoot up and then come back down as it gains momentum. However, in the big picture over the past year, it's gone from a dollar stock, so literally $1 per share, all the way to where it currently stands at $4.40, with at a high in that February before we saw a lot of the growth stocks sell off. It was trading at almost $5.50. So it is an all-time high of $5.50. However, it's currently down from there, and we're currently at a little bit of a dip. So it does lead to potential opportunities. If you are looking to start a position, now could be a potentially good time. But all in all, over the past year coming out of the pandemic, TAAT has really been in the upwards direction steadily and consistently. It's been going up. It does, take off as we see in these little peaks. It shoots up, it comes back down, but then it continues back in the upwards direction. So as we just saw, TAAT over the past year is trading up almost 400%, or even a little bit past 400% at the current prices. It was a dollar stock around a year ago, and it's now trading above $4 per share. So pretty crazy rapid growth over the past year. We are in a little bit of a pullback. We did see it hit that $5 range a couple of weeks ago, and it's now back down in the mid $4 range. So it is worth noting that it is in a little bit of a dip right now. However, we have seen the upwards momentum over the past few months. So there could be a little bit of an opportunity here on this dip to capitalize on it. However, with that being said, it has already ran up quite significantly over the past few months. Does it have more room to grow? We are not sure. Only time will tell. But with that being said, I hope you guys did find this video informative on TAAT Global Alternatives, a really innovative and disruptive stock. So a really cool opportunity, and I thought you guys enjoy it. If you did, please smash that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. A lot more content coming your way. I'll see ya in the next one.